Revelation 14:10, it says, well, I'm going to start at 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands, right? Denoting the fact that it could be either left or right side of the body. Right? It doesn't particularly have to be in the right hand. All right? It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, righteous anger, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Yeah, so you take that chip, the Lord's going to destroy you, okay? So when you take that chip and they say they do away with the currency,
right?
That's the mark of the beast, all right? You can start it from there. As soon as they say make it mandatory, that's your ass. You already took it. You make your transactions when they say, oh, there's no cash left, everything's digital, you know? Some countries are more progressive. They got the driver's licenses and birth certificates and the medical records already digital. Right. You know, America kind of behind on that. Right. You know, most stuff is already digital anyway. It's just, you don't really have access to the digital copies yet. But other countries, especially in Europe, Estonia, to be specific, all of their stuff is electronic.
Right, a lot of these,
all that stuff, like driver's license and all that.
Yeah, no, just China is a main example of how they're pretty much in league with that beast system, because a lot of what they do is biometrics, right? Facial recognition. Now, the chip is a form of biometric because it uses what they call a digital thumbprint. You know, that chip is assigned a particular identification number that's used to authenticate you. That's going to be used for your medical records, for the purposes of buying and selling, for transactions. Okay, when we go over this pretty much now every week, the Spirit bring it up to some degree. And when we in that time, which is why we emphasizing it so heavily, and it's not us, it's really the Spirit. It's the Spirit.
Yeah, the register is scared. They're scared to take cash. You got to go into the long aisles to the self-checkout. All the self-checkout, you got to use the card, which I always use anyway. But certain brothers like Martha, he always use cash. And now you can't. If you want to go use cash, you got to go to the long lines and shit. And I don't know if you ain't gonna do that. You probably gonna go self-checkout.
And the brother got to know now, and not just this brother, but pretty much anybody, because a lot of these places are not giving back cash or change. I'm sorry, it's change.
Because they're getting ready to do away with the money.
Exactly.
They're cutting down on putting it in circulation.
So now that'll make you think twice, because if you don't know the price, you don't got exact change, you're going to be like, okay, I'm just going to use my debit. They're programming people.
Every couple of years or every year, they print new money. They actually take the money from the bank and they burn the money or whatever, and then they put the new money in circulation. Now, purposely, what they're doing now, they just stop printing more money. Right. They just keep it more of a digital. That's the only way you can actually have a coin shortage or dollar bill shortage is if they stop printing money. They doing that willingly. It's not like they don't have the paper or the material or the degrees to make the paper or the ink. They stop making it. It's the only way it could be a shortage. Somebody stealing and putting in boxes. No, they're not. They purposely doing this.
Exactly.
Because eventually they're going to do away with all the banks. There ain't going to be no banks. Why? Because now it's much acceptable and easier for you to go to a way to put the money on the chip. It's digital, man. Everything is going to be crazy. Digital banking. You know what I mean? It's not do it through an app. It's going to be an easier way. So that's why when this coronavirus thing came around, a lot of banks went. They were done, out of here. Zilch. Okay.
Well, I haven't been to a bank lately. I mean, you can still go to a bank. Or you can still go to a bank.
Yeah, I can go inside.
But it's very strict hours.
Yeah, when I see like
some banks require you to make appointments.
Yeah, you gotta make an appointment.
Yeah, it's like I went to my bank to get like I use the ATM pretty frequently. I go to the bank, they got on one side you got a line of people on the outside just waiting to get to the ATM. On the other side, the other door is people waiting to get in the bank from a teller just to deal with them.
You see that?
And I'm like, what is this? This whole new thing to me. I'm thinking like everybody outside use the ATM. No, they just trying to get in the bank on the other side. I'm like, this is crazy. You know?
And they need like certified checks. They need money orders from their bank. Then they talk about loans and all that, and you gotta wait for all that shit. All the services the bank normally offer, now you gotta wait outside in a long ass line.
Yeah, people was running away and shit.
Get used to the long lines, you know?
It's
gonna be a lot of long lines for a lot of different reasons. Some of them are going to be for people getting chipped.
Right.
I have had visions of that.
Yeah.
You know, long lines and shit.
Yeah, and if I could say, like, you really have to have the spirit of blindness not to see it. I mean, Esau is really, really methodical. That's why it says we're not taken by his devices.
That's right.
And when you look at that word devices, it means like a scheme or a plot. So the point I want to make is, like, if you really look at it, right, if you really have the spirit of understanding and your eyes are open, you're going to understand that from the jump, right? Like you had the guy Aaron Russo. When did he say that about everybody being chipped?
Oh, that was like at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, but if you listen,
roughly 10 years ago when he sat down with Alex Jones and he did that interview.
And that's old knowledge. I don't know if y'all brothers that maybe fairly new to the truth, you might not know that iconic sit down that Aaron Russo had with one of the elites, but he basically said that the elite wants to chip everybody, right? Now during that time, you know, credit cards weren't, everybody could pay with cash and all that, but when you look at Esau's methodical thinking and the way he implemented the credit cards, the way he started putting chip on the credit card, the way he then started making readers read NFC and the so-called quote-unquote technology. I remember when we were walking around in Philly, we were at like a little soda what is that called? Like a little soda dispenser, and it had the RFID NFC technology on it. Yeah, just out in the hood, basically. It's like there's no reason to have that type of technology there, right? But it's all prevalent throughout everywhere, right? So he methodically used that technology.
I remember the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah,
that's where it was.
Yep.
Yeah,
but, no, I'm just saying, and then you have the coin shortage, right? This coronavirus. You see the way things are finally lining up that you really can't hide it, right? Everybody knows. You can talk to an average Edomite or an average Jake, and Jake knows, like, yeah, the mark of the beast. They throw that term around loosely now, like, yeah, the mark of the beast is coming, it's coming. But Esau has planned it out so perfectly that when it does come and he forces mandates it on you, you really have no choice but to take it, right? You gotta have to take it or you're gonna be suffering, right?
5G, and then you got that 5G network, which ain't nothing but a high dosage of radiation, right? Which chip runs on. It got coils in it.
Yeah, it's a weaponized frequency.
It's weaponized. That's right. And the chip has coils in it, which runs off of, which is going to end up eventually running off of that, man.
Well, they said that these chips have the ability to basically send off an electric pulse that can shut down your essential system, your central system in the body, your nervous system, your heart.
It'll completely fry your insides.
I remember, that's how you know the truth is coming out. There's not all this confused noise going on. So what we're saying is true. Yeah. That's the evidence, man. Satan trying to.
Satan is the prince of the air.
He's the prince of the air.
Trying to disrupt.
Yeah, that's all it is. But anyway, so I remember years ago, there was this video circulating on YouTube where they actually implanted a microchip into a bull. And through that microchip, they were actually able to control the behavior of that bull. So they were able to agitate him and get him, turn him aggressive.
If I may say, if y'all brothers didn't watch not documentary, the revealing of the Tesla microchip with Elon Musk like that, man, that's literally the RFID microchip, man. Not putting the chip in your forehead or in your right hand, like, but that, the Neuralink, yeah, man. That, what he was saying, the potential of that so-called technology is clearly the RFID microchip, man.
It will make you walk again.
Yep.
Just take this chip. You see your family, they're gonna have people coming out of prison gates. Because hey, just take this, man, we'll let you out of prison.
Yeah, that artificial godlike, I guess you could say technology that Esau's trying to implement, right, to basically be that God, right? It's gonna come to naught, man. That's all that Neuralink and the RFID microchip's all about, is being like the Most High.
Yeah, I will set my stars above the my throne above the stars of heaven.
Isaiah 14.
Yeah, he's trying to be like the Most High.
Because that Neuralink, that's nothing but nerve. It's a nerve system. That's why if anything that controls your nerves, that's the reason why, like me and your cousin was talking about earlier. Pretty much they just want to control. It's all about control. They want to be the Most High. But on the left-hand side, that's all.
Hey, just like that movie Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if you never seen that, right? But it's very spiritual.
When you see that movie, Dr. Robotnik is like, I want to see what's in him. I want to see what's inside of him.
That's Esau.
We got to see him because we can pick him apart.
That's Esau.
Because they know that we're the chosen people of the Most High. And at the end of the movie, which spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, he got the spiritual powers to save his friends. Because they know that Jake is going to be down and out, scarcely shall the righteous be saved. But at the end of the deal, it's going to look like you're about to die, and then you get in the blinking of an eye. In the twinkling of an eye, the Lord said we will be changed from corruptible to incorruptible.
Right. Well, the Lord also said that He was going to lift up a standard against him. So see,
Exactly.
Esau knows that the Lord's elect going to get spiritual power.
Exactly.
So they moving really fast with this new world order and this RFID microchip, particularly to try to get to the Lord's elect. But it tells you that the days are going to be shortened for the sake of the elect. So you ain't going to really get to the Lord's elect, no matter what you do. You know, this technology is multifold. On one hand, the Edomite want to control Jake and try to offset prophecy in that sense, but in another sense, he's trying to figure out how he can live forever. So he's thinking that if he's able to upload his consciousness, okay, digitally, right? We've seen it. This is what he wants to do. He wants the ability to live forever. He knows the Israelites are going to live forever. They'll be given spiritual power. This is his power on the left-hand side. Remember.
Right. Yep.
So this is his version of the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
All right, like y'all said, to be like the Most High, to regulate spirits, but to also to live forever through his technology, because he knows the Most High ain't gonna give it to him. But let's see if our father Satan gonna give it to us.
Right.
Is their mindset? Let's pray to these angels, make the sacrifices. Let's make Israel go off, and we gonna be blessed on the left-hand side.
Christmas and
But it's
so
a
on.
catch-22, because again, like we know, the Most High got Satan set up to deceive this man, all right, right into his own destruction. And I believe the brother quoted it, and if not, it's got to come out where the Lord said that through the devices he has imagined, he's going to be taken by. That's how we know that the Most High got him in a catch-22. And of course, there's various other precepts, but I want to finish reading the judgment of what happens if you take the RFID microchip, as well as the patience and the faith of the saints, because we know that our trust isn't going to be in any technology that the so-called white man has. That's not where our hope lies. Our hope lies in the destruction of this man and the destruction of the Edomites, all right, as well as, you know, foreseeing these things, as well as acknowledging them as they manifest to let us know what time we're in. Because our trust and confidence is fully in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, irregardless of circumstance. So,
Transhumanism, don't forget that.
well, that's part of it.
That's part of it too. Right.
Yeah. They want to be beyond human through technology.
Yep.
All right? Basically to be cyborgs. Man and machine merging together. And again, the purpose for that is to become more than what they are now, to live on forever, to have power through their technology.
Yeah, Bruce Willis had a movie like that. Y'all know what it is?
Surrogate.
Yeah.
And then prime
That movie
example,
was good,
iRobot.
man.
There you go.
Right.
Surrogate was real tough, man.
Surrogate, iRobot.
I didn't know it at the time, but now, you know.
What's that movie with?
They also had, remember the movie The Avatar? The
Minority
way that they
Report.
took down Gad was through their technology. You know, they had a very big investment in their super bots and their ability to control those different machines, and that gave them super strength, so to speak. And we see that today in this artificial technology, all this artificial intelligence is what I meant to say. But yeah, again, this is all part of that beast system. Okay, and then the mark of the beast, all right, is that RFID microchip, the Karagma.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Chappie. The two guys, the two lovers are like that. They were basically about ready to die, so they upload their consciousness into robots so they can live forever.
That's that transhumanism.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well, do you brothers remember the movie? I think it's called literally AI, where the Edomite couple lost their son in some sort of tragic accident. So what they did was to supplement the child. They went and they got an artificial robot. And then he all of a sudden started to have a mind of his own, and you know what I mean. This is the so-called future that Esau is trying to devise. This is what he's trying to implement.
Because he knows his body.
Basically, where nothing really is real. You can't really separate the differences between a reality, okay, and what's the word? A virtual reality, okay,
Okay, see?
So, I mean, that's another good movie to see the type of, future that Esau's trying to plant.
Yep.
You know, again, through that technology. And he's trying to normalize it.
Right, and like I said earlier, you know, that's that. If you have any type of understanding, you realize that from the jump, these are movies from years ago. I mean, years old, and now you can see it firsthand. And it's clearly evident. It's clearly trying to look at Elon Musk's demonstration. It's clearly out there.
Yeah,
right, and I mentioned earlier that they're not. That technology isn't exclusive to them. They have other companies.
Right.
That are,
and to note that technology, what they're showing you is just they're just showing you and just dipping your hand in it, right? They have what they wanted, what they really have, right? They have their technology is way more advanced than what they're leaving off to be. Yeah. You know, they just have to show in increments. You know,
yeah, I believe one of their top, some of these top companies, these top scientists, whatever you want to call them, technological advisors. Whatever, different CIA plans, they tell you that basically anything that they present before the public is already about 20 years old.
Yep.
So another thing that I wanted to say, and then we'll get back to this, is that what they're trying to do is make you dependent on the system in itself. Yep. Because with these self-driving cars, now you don't even have to, you don't have to drive, right?
Right?
It's total convenience too, but it's a total reliance, which ties into that prophecy of how they want total control. They want to rule over you. That's how we know. Again, it's right in your face. They want a total dependency. Pretty much, again, the way they have it now is people are relying on the government.